So tell me, is you ready, baby? Tell me, is you ready, baby?
Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to the Be Like D channel. It's your girl D coming back with Divorced Sistas episode 6. Y'all know I had technical difficulties last week, so I'll let me go ahead and catch up before the new episode come out. But y'all, this show is so good and messy and I love it, okay? So let's go ahead and get it to it. Episode 6, we opened up where we left off. Well, Myron on the car telling that, baby, you in the car? And they like, yeah, tell me why. She looking like, what? And then Chester just talking like, what, Myron? Are you serious? You got my wife looking at me sideways. I said, what is this? What in the rehearsal? Okay, what? Who you talking to, Myron? I got you on speaker right here with my wife. Rashida looking like, He's like, come on, you gotta say something. She looking at me crazy right now. She's like, no, I'm sorry. I thought she hit redial. I thought it was Denise. His wife, okay? So they ended up hanging up and she looking like, So she ended up storming off and going in the house. And then he ended up calling Myron back to my man, what was that? Like, what was that? Now she looking at me sideways. But I was like, I don't know if I believe this, okay? He trying to act like there was a mishap and he's like, no, I'm sorry, Pastor. It was an accident. I still don't believe it. Okay, this feel like a whole little charade for us to come right back and find out y'all do got something going on, okay? But for now, they acting like, oh no, it was an accident, my bad, yada yada yada. We'll talk about this when I get to the church, okay? So then he getting his ass in the car, he upset, and he all like, oh, he want to do his little prayer. Talking about, I just pray for me and Rashida, pray for all of us for us to get through this and fix this, all that stuff, right? So I'm like, if you want to fix it, you would have turned your butt around and got in the house and go fix it. You just gonna he was ready to hop in the car and be like, oh, whatever. Okay, so come on now. So then he ended up getting a call from Tiffany. And Tiffany, because everybody looking for Rashida, she not answering the phone. And remember, it was the whole last episode was, where's Rashida? She not answering, all that stuff. So then he ended up spilling the beans on what happened. He didn't open the door for her. And then Tiffany started spilling her damn beans, talking about, oh, yeah, you done stepped in it now. Okay, you done fucked up. You done triggered her. And it's a bad trigger. I said, what? Okay. So, okay, of course, it was a whole back and forth where she didn't really want to tell her. She kept telling him, no, you need to go. If you want your marriage, you need to go back in that house and talk to your wife, okay? Because she going to be done with your ass. If you want your wife, you want your marriage, go tuck your tail in, apologize, and open up your heart to that woman, okay? Or your marriage is over, baby. And he was just like, oh, please, I'm opening some door. He doing all that, right? She's like, okay, if that's what you want. And then she's like, well, what happened? He's like, why? She always told me that it was important, but she never told me why. So apparently she have a thing with, if her husband ain't opening the doors for her, she can't be married to that man. Okay, she can't be with the man that ain't gonna open every door for her. And then when she met Franklin, he did. She never had to touch a damn door handle, apparently, okay? So, basically what happened was, when she was in college, she was dating some dude that was in frat. They went to some frat party, a frat something, I don't know. She was a PK, which I was like, ooh, finding out that she's a PK is also another layer to her damn story, because PK kids, they got their own thing going there. So then she was dating some dude that was in the room, and all of a sudden all these frat dudes start coming in the room. They locked the door and, assaulted her. Okay, so of course Jeff never knew about this. He's shocked and saying like, oh my God, Rashida. And also in the story, she was trying to get out of the room, but her boyfriend would not open the door. She was trying to get out, but her boyfriend wouldn't open the door. I said, oh, there's just even more levels of her being violated and disrespected. It was sad, okay? Just to even think about her being in a scenario like that. Complete bullshit, okay? So he knows what happened to her, and so she was like, if the dude not opening the doors for me, it's done. It's not that. So it sounds extreme, but in the layers of what trauma she's been through It makes sense. That's what came to her mind. Like, nah, doors have to be open for me, for my man, okay? Because what happened to her where he didn't open that door when he could have opened that door and let her out. Super sad. It was shocking. Okay, I was like, oh snap. Okay, because I didn't think that was gonna lead to that. Okay, so he's gonna go back in the house and talk to his wife. He gets Rashida. He he did a good speech. I tell you what, he did a good speech. Like, I'm sorry. I know I've been a butthead. I've been, I did the wrong things, and I hear you. I'm listening, and I'm sorry that I just been jealous of you, and I feel like you've always had something special that draws people to you, and I feel like I gotta work hard to have something special. I was like, okay, I'm feeling it. He put it on the table, okay, and that's sad though. Why does that end up coming into some of marriages and relationships, that jealousy? You get jealous of your partner? That's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. But that's a conversation for another, another thing. But anyway, he was saying that he was jealous of her, and that it bothers him that he has to work 10 times harder to be get what she has, and all that stuff. And he just really wants this church to be opened up because yada yada yada. He just want all these different goals and aspirations, basically, and he feel like he had to work too hard to get it. So, but she looking at him like, okay, why you being so open to me? What made you come in here all of a sudden out of the blue and you want to be open? I was like, thank you, Rashida. Thank you. Okay, because as much as I appreciated him opening up, don't believe it, because it'd be another layer of manipulation to get you to be like, okay, everything is good. You apologize. No, you do not have to automatically accept the bullshit. Okay, so I always side out what the hell the nigga is saying, because you don't even know. Okay. So she was just like, why you doing that? Why you so changed? You ain't never did no open up like this to me. What's going on? Okay. But he's saying, I'm sorry. I just know I did wrong. I know I messed up. Yada yada yada. Then we have Rashida, and I guess she done took a bath and relaxed or whatever. And then she on the phone with Geneva's ass. So she done took a pause from her drama and has into Geneva's. Okay, so they talk about what happened last night. Y'all had a fight, of course. Okay, girl, of course we had a fight. Me and Jeff. No. She said y'all had a fight. She's like, we don't have fights. She's like heavily worded discussions or something like that. Pretty much, Rashida is a whole mess because she is what they want to say, semantics. She's very heavy on the semantics of the situation. Okay. No, it wasn't fighting. It's not considered fighting. Girl, y'all have having full blown argument, okay? But anyway, so then she ended up saying, well, right now what she was doing was following William to the school to go see who is this pretty lady. Okay, I said, girl, now she back on her detective. She's like, girl, no. You need to, I'm gonna clear my day, and you come to the church. You stop that foolishness. Take your ass home. You still winning team drink, girl. Go home. I said, not Geneva back on the hunt. Okay, girl, shouldn't you be tired? But anyway, she see him talking to the lady, handing off some flowers. And I'm just like, I really thought she was gonna be cuter than that. I'm like, when you to my pretty lady, I mean, I really expected it to be like, okay, beauty, okay. Now, not shading the lady. Lady, she cute. She cute or whatever, but I thought it was going to be a baddie. Okay, so then now after Rashida get off the phone with Geneva, she ended up back, thinking about her situation. She about to cry again, okay? So then Jeff ended up coming in the room, and she's like, what you still doing here? I thought you was headed to the church. And he was just like, you know what, baby? I just couldn't leave, okay? You know what? I want us to go together. He doing all that extra, he landed on real thick, okay? So unbelievable. But we'll see. But, I'm shaky on dude, okay? I don't think he a good dude at all. Okay, but we'll see. Okay, we'll see for now. He was good in this moment when he still pouring out his heart, and she's still looking like, what is this? Okay, why are you acting like this? Why are you talking like this? Okay, what pretty much the way he talking like he knows something. So pretty much she said, who you been talking to? And he like, nobody, doing too much lying. So, and then apparently his thing is that he doesn't lie. He uses his words carefully, so he not telling a lie. So, because even his daughter picked it up on the last episode, was like, you only talk like that because you try not to lie. Okay, so. Which makes him even more shysty, okay? Because he's slick with his tongue. He is, pouring his heart out to Rashida again, and she's saying, no, you looked at me like I'm a victim now. So then he's just like, no, that's not what it is. It's just, this all just made me realize that I've been an asshole to you, and I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. When he admitted to himself being an asshole, she was just like, okay, I'm listening. Anyway, he was like, no, I'm telling you, I promise. When I was in the car, I was praying that we get through this and this and that. And then guess what? Tiffany called. And then Tiffany told me what happened. And I came back in here and I had to profess my love to you. I said, okay, you did good with that one. Okay, you did good with your little speech. You got Rashida. So she just like, okay. And then she's like, do you got something going on with Myron? He was like, no. I don't have nothing going on with nobody. Okay, I promise. Nothing, nobody. I ain't into no man or none of that. Okay, I said, we'll see. Okay, so, and then I think he named 3 women that he did find attractive at the church, and she was just like, ugh. I said, she gonna say, ugh, and go fire each one of them, I bet. But anyway, they gonna go to church together. They done made up for now. Okay, I say for now because you never know with this. I want to call him Franklin. Is his name Franklin in real life? But anyway, you never know with Pastor Jeff has, because he looked real sketchy, just all around. Then now we have Bridget and the dude named that got into a fight at his house is Calvin. So Bridget and Calvin at the church, and he pretty much trying to get her to go ahead and let him know where Vaughn at, because he trying to get his ass arrested because of the assault. I was like, damn, that's real petty. She don't want to give up the name, and then she over there lying in church, and then she gonna look around like, dang, I am lying in church, because he said, you just really gonna sit here and lie in church? You don't know where he at? She's like, well, he might go to his mama house. But then Pastor Jeff and Rashida walk in, and they looking all in love, lovey-dovey. She all like, And of course, when they go to the office, Bridget mentioning like, "Oh, girl, you got your son. Ooh, she know all that stuff." So she's like, "Well, it's good to see the child happy. I like when y'all happy." So then she's like, "Thank you." She looking all smiley and shit. Okay. She cleared her day for Geneva, and then Geneva ended up coming so they can have a whole conversation about what's going on. Okay, so now we have Geneva getting ready to leave her house, and she sees Tiffany, and she don't ignore Tiffany's call. And Tiffany's like, so you are ignoring my calls." Side note, Tiffany looked good as hell in that yellow, okay? And Geneva was rocking that outfit, okay? But anyway, she's like, well, what you doing here anyway? I got a lot going on. I'm trying to help and leave real quick. And she's like, well, I got a call for somebody that wanted me to sell this house to them. And then she was like, oh, okay. And they asked for me personally. I said, I already know who this is. Why they doing this? Okay, Javon, you're reaching psycho level, okay? Psycho. He Gary. He is Gary. Oh my gosh. Then of course, who pulls up? Javon. Oh, it's me that wants the house for they asked for you by name. Geneva just be, okay. And I hate this for Tiffany, because Tiffany, you obviously see there's some kind of weird tension, energy, something that I keep wanting to call her Rashida, that Geneva ends up giving you when it comes to Javon. Red flags, period. If you noticing it, because she keeps side-eyeing her, then I'd be like, okay, so something's wrong going on with this dude. Something is wrong. Immediately. But no, she keeps being like, I'm just going to bypass this awkwardness and, well, yeah, if you don't want to tell me something, I'm just going to keep pursuing him. Then will you be an idiot and you get your heart broken, okay? Enjoy. But anyway, Rashida refuses to tell this woman about this man. So I'm telling you, it's got to be something with Tiffany. It's Tiffany that is the reason why she won't spill the beans. And Geneva ends up going to the yoga studio to where the lady that her husband had called, "Put your fine ass," okay, the pretty lady. So she done went to the studio and trying to act like, oh my gosh, oh hey, my daughter and your daughter are friends. It was the most awkwardest thing. Like she could have made it flow better than that, okay? Because the woman was looking like, oh, okay, yeah. And she was just like, oh, okay, well, you know what? I want to set up like a play date. And she's like, oh, I usually see the dad, you know. And but Rashida slick though. She was like, "Oh, do you have his number?" And she's like, "No." Okay, she's like, "Okay, girl, it'll be great for the kids." They exchange numbers, switch phones, right? Rashida, the girl walk off. Rashida leave her phone on the counter and then walk back out. Wait, I guess she decided to wait a cigarette length work because I was like, "When the hell is Rashida? I mean, Geneva smoking cigarettes?" Okay, so Geneva, she waits, she come back in, she's like, "Oh, I think I left my phone somewhere." And then they're looking like, what? It's over here. She's like, oh, I got it. Rashida go to the car, listen to the recording. And it's pretty much the woman calling somebody saying, I just had the strangest visit, but like, I'll tell you later. I won't tell you here. And I'm just like, that was a weird way to say that. Okay. But it also could be, she called her husband, was like, I just had the strangest visit from somebody, but I'll talk to you later about it. But honestly, it did sound sketchy the way she said it. It sounded like she done called William on a burner phone and was like, I'll talk to you later, but something weird just happened. But she really thinks that's her proof that he cheated. I was like, girl, this was not no real proof. You ain't see no pretty ladies happening. You just seen like a hand of a flower. Is this really even a lady? But I guess it is the lady because they said she owned the yoga studio, yada yada. Now we get to Geneva and Rashida talking at the church, okay? And might I say I love they scenes together because this whole conversation, the Toya Luckett character, Rashida alone, her face is turning her juice. Okay, Geneva had her going through, okay? She's talking about I follow her to the yoga studio and yes he is messing with her. I just know it. I feel it in my gut and I know it. And then she was like, okay, and what you gonna do? She's like, I'm gonna catch him and I'm gonna blast him. And it's like, okay, and then what? What's this gonna amount to? She said, Javon got you twisted that bad. Okay, you want Javon that bad? She was like, I don't know. I said, oh. I told ya. She said, I don't know. She was like, And she let her know that he trying to buy a house next door to her. He got Tiffany all up, nose up, all in the air. Okay, she's like, well, she just met him last night. You really think she on him like that? She's like, we need to stop them from trying to be together. Okay, he doing everything that he did to get me, to get her. Okay, the love bombing, giving her roses, all this and that, and then Rashida's just like, oh my goodness. Rashida's like, then what you gonna do? You want him? Like, then she's talking about we, not I. This is your problem. She's like, you remember you got a husband, okay? You just trying to make excuses for what you did because you want him to have cheated, okay? But the conversation got so much that Rashida was like, can we take a break? Can we talk about my book? But baby, Geneva was just like, I gotta get Javon up off Tiffany. And then she start talking about how like she is bored in her marriage. I said, I knew it. I knew you was bored, girl. She said, is this what marriage is supposed to be? Just boring, same thing day in, day out. Like William is just so predictable. It's just pretty much. Bitch is like, ooh, he's just not that interesting anymore. And then Rashida had the good comeback though. She said, well, marriage is what you make it. I said, okay, speak a word. Okay, it's what you make it. Because if you just go sit there and be looking like that, that's what you're going to have, okay? Do something to make it better. What she told Jeff, well, then fix it. If you don't like it, fix it then, okay? But anyway, so she don't know if she wants Javon, and she's thinking that all of this stuff that he doing is exciting her. For she's like, it's exciting you, ain't it? You enjoying this? Look at you, Rashida. You look at you, Geneva. Okay, look at you. And then Geneva just like, it's turning me on. I said, Geneva, why are you such a mess? Okay, so then now she's saying Rashida trying to tell her you need to just close it up, stop it. I ain't gonna tell nobody what's happening. Okay, we need to just figure out how to get this done. Okay, just leave him alone and don't worry about it. And then she's just like, I don't know how hard that is. He making it hard. She's like, how is he making it hard, girl? Just ignore it. He playing games with you, with your best friend. I said, facts, Rashida, facts. He playing games with you through your best friend, and he got her going on some kind of roller coaster too. So you take that into account of why you think he all sexy and entertaining. Okay, he playing your friend, your long time friend at that. And then she over there talking about, you think he into her? Geneva asking Rashida if she think Javon is interested in Tiffany, and Rashida was like, oh my goodness. She said, I don't know, he could be interested in her. I mean, she cute. This is a whole mess, okay? When I tell you 100% mess, Geneva is over this marriage, but she also want to know if he cheating on her. But then she interested in Javon, but Javon is actually a psycho, because I have confirmed psycho, okay? Because the way he coming on is a little too strong, and it's not even like a cute thing. It ain't cute, Geneva, and you need to get up off it, okay? But this is Andy 2.0. And we get to them going to go talk to Bridget. Bridget is end up getting like a text message from Vaughn, and Vaughn is saying some cryptic stuff that sound like he gonna do something to himself. So she trying to call him, he not answering. They panicking. So then they end up going to the pastor, trying to figure out what they can do with Jeff. They saying he on the phone, he sent some cryptic message like he gonna do something to himself. He finally answers. Bridget trying to talk to him, and he's saying how nobody loved him. His mama don't love him. Bridget don't love him. You let that man attack me when I was sleeping. All this and that. So he's in a car, and I guess on the side of the road or something. I thought he was, I guess, on train tracks or something, but you couldn't tell what he was. But he was in a car. So he's saying all this stuff. Pastor Jeff tried to get on the phone to help too. He's saying, you got so much to live for. You do have people that care for you. He's saying, you got a good life. You don't know what I've been through, blah, blah, blah. Then Pastor Jeff started talking about how he's been through stuff. He said he grew up in the foster system, and he aged out of it. I said, ooh, okay, that's another layer to Jeff. Okay, I was liking these little crumbs they're giving us about what's going on in these people's lives and what made them become, who they is. Because that is also a factor that we need to take into account for Pastor Jeff. So I was like, okay, grew up in foster care, the foster care system, and you aged out. So, he was on the street as soon as he turned 18 with no money and had to figure his life out. So he's like, so I didn't always have it great. I got here, basically. So he still ain't want to hear that on the phone. He's like, get a phone back to Bridget. Bridget, you don't love me. Nobody loves me. All this stuff, right? So then we hear the shot. Okay, so very sad ending. I did not expect that to happen. I thought it was just, I didn't, you didn't think it was gonna get serious like that, but it did. Oh, poor Bridget, man. I know she finna be going through it, because that was hard. That was hard to even just freaking hear on the phone, and they all just sat there and heard it. It was shocking. And of course, they do the hotline, or if you know anything that's going on with anybody, because you don't know the signs. I did not see that coming from Vaughn. I thought he was just, emotional, and it was just going to be a back and forth between them, but it really went dark, and that was very sad. So that was the end of the episode. Alright, y'all, that's the end of episodes, and that's the end of my review for Divorced Sistas season 1, episodes 4 through 6. Drop down in the comments, let me know what y'all thought about the episodes. This show is so good. When I tell you, as I keep going over the review, because of course I don't watch these episodes, I don't know how many times to get this review done, because technical difficulties, okay? But so good. It's so many different layers to each character, and I appreciate that, because learning that Jeff was in the foster system, I was enjoying learning that, enjoying that something has happened between Jeff and Naomi. We need to get to the bottom of that tea, okay? I was like, what's going on? What's the beef? How did it start? What does she see? Okay. And then Geneva with all this drama with Javon. Like, do you see that he's insane? Okay, at this point, it's went past being kind of cute. It went past cute, funny. Now it's like he's stalking you and he being very forceful. Okay, he ain't manipulative because he got your friend thinking he into her, and it's really just the whole thing to mess with you. It's crazy at this point. Okay, Geneva, you need to take a step back. Okay, anyway. And what is going on with William? Because I feel like that's something that needs to be added to his story, because I can't get a read on that. Because what is this pretty lady thing going on? Because I'm still stuck on the pretty lady thing like she is, but then he also acts like he just such a, oh, I love my wife husband. So what's going on? Like I said, Naomi got redeemed because I knew it had to be a sliver of hope that that he was doing it to her. We find out indeed he is a bitch ass nigga and doing stuff to her, and he gonna deserve everything she give his ass. And I go ahead, girl, I'm with you. Be crazy. And what else we had? Tiffany. Tiffany, I'm just so the dumbness gotta stop. Okay, it has to be stopped. Okay. And then she even had like a little inkling when she was just like, what's going on with you? Like, I just met you yesterday and you all up on me. And then he was like, what you mean? Like, I thought you would like that. And stuff like that. I said, don't. Yeah, you clocked it right there. I just met you 24 hours ago and you all up on me. Back up. But she gonna play dumb until something happens to her. Okay, that's all I see. And what I said, Bridget, just the crazy sadness that just happened with Bridget. The crazy sad thing that just happened for Bridget. So I want to see what happens with that arc, or whatever happens with her with that, and how does she even get through this and go through this. I think that was pretty much all the ladies. Rashida, I want to know if this Jeff and Rashida thing, what is this? Okay, because is he genuine? I don't see genuine from him though, so I can't never tell if he really do love his wife or not, because he act like he don't love his wife, he don't respect her, but now all of a sudden you all like, oh, I love you, I respect you, but that could be a little bubble for right now, it'd be like some kind of little fuzziness that goes on after you into a good mood and a good space, but it just take one little argument, one little something that's finna bring it all back, and y'all finna be arguing at each other's neck again, okay? But drop down in the comments, let me know what y'all thought about the episodes. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the belikedee channel, okay?